Hey everybody, so this is a add-on to the certificate services videos that I've already completed and hopefully you've watched. So what this is a audit utility to make sure that you're not exposing your Active Directory certificate services to possible hacking. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I was watching a webinar and just the other day by Black Hills Information Security, which I highly recommend that you follow them. And the one of the top ways that they're pen testers, and one of the top ways they find that they get domain admin or get control of a domain is through ADCS. So it was the number two on the list, right behind bad creds. So it's very interesting. And let me show you Black Hills. Here's Black Hills. So right here, this video, the top reasons you got hacked in 2022. So very good. I highly recommend you watch that. But what we're going to do is we're just going to run through this audit just to make sure that our implementation is secure. So what I did was I downloaded from this GitHub. I downloaded the code here, downloaded this zip, and here it is. It's right here. Extracted it. It's in downloads. And then I opened up my PowerShell, and I had a bit of trouble, and I think it might just be because I'm on EVE-NG, just trying to get the Active Directory module and the certificate services module. I think it requires those two. And it also downloads a version of PSPKI that's in this repository. So basically I had to play around with this to get this to run. So then once this was installed, you can run invoke PS or invoke PKI audit dash PKI audit. There are instructions in here. Let's go back to the GitHub. If you look at the README down here. So invoke PKI audit, that's going to audit the current forest ADCS settings. And that's what we want to do. So you should also review the defensive guidance here in certified pre-owned, this white paper, and here that is. It's right here. You can download this and take a look at it, and it has some good information on how to protect your Active Directory certificate services. So what we'll do is let's run this PKI audit against our setup, which is right here on this Win 2019-002. That's the issuing server. That's the root server. It's off. So let's run that. Invoke PKI audit. And okay, so it's taking a look at our domain certificate services right now. And let's move this over. Do we have the certificate services? So I'm running this all from this Windows machine right here. Here's the certificate services system right here. And we'll be making some changes to this in a moment, as soon as we get our results here. So we're just waiting for that to finish. So I'm going to pause the recording while that finishes. Okay, it's finished. It's run. So you can see certificate authority, and it's at the CA sub, chriseve.lab. And that's this server right here behind this one. Let's move this over. And the above CA is misconfigured. Okay. And the misconfigurations gives us the ESC8. So what we can do is we can look here and scroll down, and there you see there's a bunch of possible issues that this will find. So it's finding that NTLM relay to ADCS HTTP endpoints could cause a problem. And let's take a look. We click that. Okay, so this checks if NTLM is present for any published enrollment endpoints. There's a note here. If it does not check for extended protection for authentication. So false positives could occur. So that setting is right here. If you look at cert serve, let's click on cert serve, authentication, Windows authentication, and we go into advanced settings. This is the extended protection. You can see it's by default off. Now you can set it to require, to accept, leave it off. So the one thing we could do is just turn off, remove this cert serve IIS, because really you don't necessarily need this on the domain. There's not a necessity for this. You can run through the MMC like we saw in previous videos. You can just request a certificate that way and avoid all of this. But let's see what we can do here. So mitigations, remove enrollment endpoints. So that's one, right? We could remove them. Disable NTLM for the endpoints or enable EPA. So we can see in this white paper, and that's going to be right here, it should have what we need to do here. Let's see what it says here for this. So the one thing I'd like to point out, though, is before we look at this, if you look at our certificate templates, you'll remember that we got rid of all of the default ones. That's a good move to do that. Delete those. If you're not using them, get rid of them. The templates are an attack vector. So only put the ones in here that you really, really need. Okay. So I just wanted to point that out. All right. So this is 143 pages. So this is pretty good. Let's look for ESC 8. No, not 7, 8. Okay, let's find that. We'll go down to, okay, here we go. Okay, so this is basically saying that you could pass a NTLM hash into here and get authenticated and then take over so that's why there's some danger. So what we're going to do is we're going to mitigate this. Let's look at this article right here, mitigating NTLM relay attacks on AD. So the primary mitigation is to enable EPA and disabling HTTP on ADCS servers. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with here. So we're going to go into the cert serve. Let's bring that up. So we're in cert serve. We went to advanced settings on here on the Windows authentication. We're going to turn this to required. So that's what we want that to be required. Okay. So we did that. Next step. So we have to go here to, let's see. So it's telling us to go here. Let's see if we can copy this. I'm going to open this up. Paste. Nope. Okay. Let me move this over a little bit. Move this. Okay, so we got win. Okay. System data. System data. Don't see that. Okay, so after enabling EPA in the UI, web config file created by CES role should also be updated by adding extended protection policy in the extent. Okay. Extended protection policy. Let's see what we're talking about right here. Okay, so this file, web config. So we have to see where that is. Let me see. Windows system data does not exist, so let's see if we can find that web config here. Okay, and the other thing that we have to do is in here, let me move this over. So for this site, let's click on there. And we're going to do advanced settings, basic settings. Let's see what we got. Cert served, default app pool. So I think what I did, well, I already took off on the default website. I removed the binding here for 80. So now it should only be listening on 443. Okay. Well, let's go back to this part and see if we can find anything here. Web config, okay. Not finding it. There's some web config. underscore CES Kerberos. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause the recording while I look for this. Okay, so I don't see that file. So what we're going to do is we're going to restart IIS at this point. So let's open up elevated command prompt and IIS reset / restart. So the main goal here would probably be to disable these certs, to remove or disable these websites in here, because really we're not going to need them. We can remove them and everything would be fine. So that's probably going to be our goal. Or restrict NTLM. That's another thing that should be done. We should be using Kerberos only. So there's more information on that, but that may be a heavier lift depending on what's running in your environment. But for right now, we just were able to change the settings on here to disallow NTLM, and that should be enough. Let's also check this though here. So Windows authentication. Let's look here. So we're on cert serve, authentication, Windows authentication, advanced settings. So we have that. Let's see, what is that? Providers. Oh, there we go. Providers. What we can do here also, put in Kerberos, add that, remove NTLM. So that's another option here. So that said that we have to turn off that. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, let's go and set this up. And so we'll just keep Kerberos in here. And there we go. And that's again IIS reset. If you're done all that, right here. And there, that should prevent any kind of security issue. So if we run this again, let's run this again now that we've made some changes and see what happens. Now, this could still give us an issue if it did not see that. Well, we did disable NTLM, so I think that this might be gone. Let's see. See what we got. All right, I'm going to pause until we get our results. And now you can see there are no misconfigurations. So that's clear. And everything looks better. And also, note that this is not a guarantee that this CA environment is secure. So basically, that's what you want to work on. You want to disable unnecessary services or make them more secure as you can, and run audits like this for security. And be very careful with certificate services because it is a vector which is being exploited a lot. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it.